Good afternoon, everybody. It is Sunday, June 12, I want to say. And we are starting in-crop herbicide. Didn't expect to be doing it till probably Tuesday or Wednesday. Timing, things really jumped the last couple of days. It's been quite warm. And just woke up. So, and tomorrow we're supposed to get an inch of rain. So it's probably pretty much ideal timing right now, or as best as we're going to be able to get. So I have quite the cocktail to mix up here. I'll show you what we got. Quick reminder to like and subscribe if you enjoy what I'm doing. Ask me some questions. Hopefully I can find answers. And thanks again for watching. So as you can see, we got an assortment of chemicals and products on board. It's a bit of a gong show. We did this concoction last year on durum ahead of a field that I was planting for peas. That is peas this year, and it worked really well. The only thing is we sprayed part of it after, like a day or so after a real heavy rain when the crop was stressed. And that seemed to give it a little bit of chlorosis, like it yellowed them a bit. They came back, but I don't want to do that, which is kind of the reason I want to spray today. So this wasn't that bad of a cocktail last year because we had Varo, and this is Audible. This is Audible B, I guess. And Draft. So Audible in a box comes with Draft and Audible B. 2,4-D ester 700 was the concoction last year. Now this year, I think I've already showed that I'm using this Crop Aid Plus. So we do one hit at 1/2 liter an acre with your burn off, and then another 1/2 liter an acre with your herbicide. So that's got to go in the mix as well. This year I'm trying this stuff out. This is called Manipulator 620, and what this stuff does is it causes the plant to grow a little bit shorter, in theory. I know lots of guys used it last year. They were really happy with it, so I'm going to try it out. The reason I want it shorter is because if it stays shorter, it's less likely to get knocked down. As well, it will mature a hair earlier. Also, the real kicker is that so maturing earlier should give us a better chance of getting a higher grade and getting through the sensitive periods where they're susceptible to things like disease or midge or what have you. The other thing, the big thing, is that it should save on nutrients used to make straw and turn that into yield, in theory. So we're gonna try it out. So I got 1/2 liter an acre of this, 1/2 liter an acre of that. Each one of these does 40 acres, 40 acres, 40 acres, 56 acres, I think. 53, maybe. Something like that. And, okay. So, if you add everything up, 4 times 40 is 160. So I'm doing 160 acres a tank, divided by 12, or 1250 divided by 160 brings us to 7.8 gallons per acre. We go there. I'll talk about that a little more, but the crop's starting to get bigger and have some, not really much canopy, but you want to get better coverage, so we double our rate, which also means I have to change over these tips. So I have a lot going on here, and I do not have a camera stand, so unfortunately you're not going to be able to see me mix. Probably fortunate for me because there's a lot going on here, a lot of moving parts, but it's gonna go this first, But I'm gonna mix this first in the Chembine so that it's dry powder, so that it can agitate. I'll mix this, then this, then this, then the manipulator, then this stuff. Clear as mud, right? Well, we were having a good day, good productive day. And so I sprayed the first tank and all went well, folded up. Got back to the yard over there, filled, came back, unfolded, did 30 acres. And I went to fold up because this water runs a bit squirrely to get across. So I was going to go out here and go down half a mile and come in and do the last, I don't know, 60, 65 acres on the other side of that run. All of a sudden she wouldn't fold up. Got an alert left side, left inner angle. Yeah. So what the hell? I looked back and it's like hanging way back. So I don't know why it snapped. It's not like I hit anything, but snapped nonetheless. We'll have to get her probably welded up. She is a little bit stretched though. It looks like it's been broke for a while. It must have had that crack for a long time for it to be rusty like that. Yeah, it doesn't look all that fresh. Well, in addition to that I'll back up. So I threw that picture on Snapchat of the broken bracket, and one of the neighbors has older machines with the same setup, 120-foot booms. And he goes, "Oh, I just got a spare one of those. Like just the other day, it's sitting on my bench. If you want it." I'm like, "Oh shit, yeah, perfect." So I went and grabbed it, put it back in. Actually, he had a spare bolt that I needed too, so I owe him for that. And I went to put things, I got it back together. I went to put the cylinder back in and noticed the front is bent. The cylinder itself, I'll show you in a bit. So called Young's. There's one in Regina, so that's where I'm off to right now. And then on the way back, I'll stop at Windthorst and grab some bolts and those brackets. And come back down here, we'll get her back together, hopefully. Well, after being windy as hell all day, she's turning into a beautiful, albeit hot and muggy night. It's gonna be a dandy to spray some canola. And this will be interesting. So we've already sprayed this for flea beetles 4 or 5 days ago. Oh, it'd be more than that, wouldn't it? I'd have to check the books. But it's now time for some Liberty. Well, we just call it Liberty. In-crop herbicide. As you can see right here, we have some wild oats and volunteer wheat coming through. And some lentils right there, because this is where we emptied the cedar out of lentils, and we may have spilled a bit. Some round leaf mallow there. But you can see for the most part, it's kind of patchy around here, which is never uncommon. Like I said, we've come here 2, 3, 4 times with equipment just tramping around here. And this little spot here is not the greatest. But you start getting into the main field, she's on the verge of cabbaging. Well, she is cabbaging in a lot of places. See some flea beetle damage, but it's more on the smaller leaves that are way down there. Those are the ones they like. Overall, I'm quite happy with how the crop's looking so far. I'm going to spray Dad's first. That's Dad's side. That on camera looks a lot worse than it actually looks. It looks more smoky than anything. The reason I'm doing that is we have a full tank on, and I'm doing a trial with crop aid stuff, so he's not getting any. Mine gets 2 applications of a 1/4 liter for a total of 1/2 liter. So we'll spray his out, and then we'll jump to this side and I'll add some. And then tomorrow morning we've got 500 and some odd, 540 acres. Oof. As soon as the wind dies off, the mosquitoes came out in a hurry. It's 500 and some odd acres out that way that we'll spray. We'll move the trailer over. I should turn on that faucet before I get eaten alive. There's still the occasional flea beetle, but the canola is not at the stage where flea beetles are going to do much. It'd be more grasshoppers that will do serious damage at this point. So far, I haven't seen many of them. I hope it stays that way. Turn on the... Ooh, that's getting stiff. So more than anything right now, I am letting the sprayer warm up and hoping that the temperature cools down a hair. It was 33 degrees. Well, it was 35 at one point on my house scale. So I don't like to spray in that extreme heat if I don't have to. It's a lot of stress on the crop, albeit the Liberty, I'll touch on that in the cab. But the Liberty style products really work fast when it's hot out. If I was to spray this to start, which I'm not gonna, and especially on like a 25 to 30 degree day, if I was to spray this, say mid-afternoon, by the time I finished my tank, and we're putting it on about 6 gallons or so, the time I finished, I'd get back here and that would look wimpy. You wouldn't see the chlorosis to it, like where it starts getting yellow, but it really starts to shrink up and twist and get limp. So I really do enjoy spraying this stuff, except that it can drift like a bastard. It's very soapy stuff, so we've added Valid to the tank. Valid is a surfactant slash drift agent, drift reduction agent, anti-foam, defoamer, blah blah blah. This is what's going in next, is Interline. It's the same family, just slightly different. But it's so Roundup is glufosinate. Sorry, Roundup is glyphosate. This is glufosinate. So you can have Roundup Ready canola, RR, or you can have Liberty Link canola, which is LL. We like to grow the Liberty Link so that we don't have to really add much. We get a good cycle. We do our glyphosate burn off, and we get a glufosinate. That didn't latch, did it? Yeah, it did. Then we get so then we get a glufosinate, and we've also added some, that guy up there, that's Arrow All In, much like a Select or a Statue. It's a wild oat and grassy herbicide. I think that would be a group 2, but don't quote me on that. Oh, is it sticky out there? And I don't know if you noticed on the way in, but I brought myself a treat. A couple treats tonight. We're out spraying Liberty and canola again. Just different day, different field, same blend. So this has the Liberty, the Arrow All In, Valid, as well as the Crop Aid Plus. Quite the cocktail, a lot of fluid to pump. but not that bad. Definitely need to look at getting a, ooh, I'm gonna have to do a video of that too. Getting a flow meter and a second hose so that we can mix a little faster when we've got several different chemicals on the go. But overall, to be able to pump all the Liberty into one, because we just had that one white one before, you could only get 135 liters in. Well, this batch takes like almost 250 liters of Liberty. So it's way faster to begin with. It's logistically, it's a lot of flipping and changing and whatnot. I just see a way to make it faster. Anyways, what we're up to this morning is we're down on this land we call the Hunter Place. This is our very, I guess, that is south, that is west. This is our southwestmost land. It's been farmed. I know my grandpa bought it way back. I'm not even sure when. I've never not known of this land as far as us farming it. It's very rocky. You can see it's still very wet this year. And on that note, doesn't look like it at the moment, but they're saying this afternoon potential for a nasty hailstorm. It's been, yesterday was like 34 degrees at one point, pretty much 100% humidity, and you can kind of see along the hills, I don't know how it shows up, there's a bit of smoke in the air too. That's never a good thing as far as brewing up storms go. So on Facebook there was a couple big hailstorms to the north with some ugly looking hail. They're saying 3 to 5 centimeter hail. Whoa, that's pretty brutal. So your first instinct is, well, do I even bother spraying this if it's going to get hailed out? Well, you have to. Not that it's necessarily fun, but it could not get hailed. Like they haven't said, and it's very rare that you get an entire 10-mile wide swath of hail. So the odds of all of the fields getting hit, not very good. All the fields hitting an area, significantly more. But you do what you got to do. This canola is a few days, I would have to say probably 4 days behind what we did yesterday. It's still plenty ready to spray Liberty on. It's just the stuff yet at my uncle's, it's probably, come on, get on your line. This stuff would take hail a bit better. It would definitely set it back. And if it did, I know Crop Aid has this, is it React or Recover or something like that? It's a micronutrient and fertilizer blend that you're supposed to spray after a period of major stress. It's supposed to really help it come back. So if we get hail here, I might do that. Hell, we're already at the most expensive crop we've ever put in, so gotta try and get something out of it. Hail insurance has been in place for a week, so I'm not worried about that at all. But the stuff at my uncle's would take a bit more of a thrashing, as well as some of the durum. Overall, it's not going to do, it wouldn't wipe us out. In fact, there's still some of the late canola that's just at the cotyledon phase, just barely popping through. Alright, so finally done, I would say about 95% of the twisty-turny stuff. You see sloughs there, rock pile that needs to get buried there, another one there. There's actually an old stone house over there. The camera makes it look worse, but if something's gonna come in, it's definitely gonna be from the west, which is that, I guess that way. I'm going at a slight angle because Dad's seated parallel with the railroad tracks. Currently, we are 28 degrees, feels like 38. It is friggin' humid and intensely hot in the direct sun. In the shade, it's not bad, but in the direct sun, man, it's got to be stupid high UV. Yeah, 8. So you can feel it. When I was out mixing, oh, I was dripping. But yeah, tornado watch, which is never a good thing. I haven't got onto Twitter yet to see what the storm chasers, where they are. Usually they've got better models and they know where it's going to be, or at least follow it. I haven't seen anything building yet, and the forecast does not look, I wouldn't say it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look conducive. How do I want to say it? It doesn't look like they're currently forecasting like this whole area to get it. They're just kind of saying it could just pop up wherever, which is quite common with this type of weather. Just supercell forms and things get a little ugly. But at the same time, it's not 35 degrees. It is, I can't stress how friggin' hot the sun is. And other than that, I am be just shy or just over 80 acres away. Should have just enough fluid on if I did my math right. 80 acres away, and then I'm gonna rinse and flush, and after that I'm gonna have to wipe off these guys. I'm gonna squeeze the tires in. I'm gonna park it inside. Last time you saw me park it inside was because it was friggin' cold. I didn't want anything to freeze. Well, now I don't want freezing chunks of ice coming down and smashing out windows or nozzle bodies or whatever. So we're gonna park it inside for the night. And I just like having the tires tucked in so it takes up an extra 4-ish feet less. And then I can go to the lake for supper. It's 2 o'clock now. It'll be close to 3 by the time I get done spraying and rinsing. Probably 4 or 4:30 by the time I get to the lake. So be a good day. Long day, but good day. I got done spraying. I rinsed once, and then all of a sudden the second rinse, just out of nowhere, woof, big wind and cooler. So that's not good. So I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Get this guy tucked away and hope we don't get a storm. So, interesting development here. As I was I was taking the tires in from wide stance to storage, and all of a sudden I get this dee-dee-dee-dee. What the hell is that? That's a new sound. So I'm looking over all my alarms, and then I clued in it was coming through the radio, which I have my phone Bluetooth to. Yeah, that doesn't look good. I mean, like, the score update is good. Jay's come roaring back, but emergency alert. At 2:50 p.m. Central Standard Time, Sunday, Environment Canada has issued a tornado warning for this mobile coverage area. Take cover immediately if threatening weather approaches.